December 29th, 2016. Eat Gastra in the Netherlands. I'll go ahead and read this verbatim because it was interesting to me. The Earth and the Moon. This is basically all the way down the page. If I link it to the bottom of this, it's going to be basically all the way down the page. The Earth and the Moon. Our moon may have come into our solar system together with our Earth. Perhaps our moon is much older than 5 billion years. Perhaps our moon is an old star too, but then very much older than the Earth. It's very rare that I see writing like that. A few thoughts. I have a little moon here. And if you look at it online, this is a 1 to 32 million scale moon right here. If you look at it online, you'll see that there are large flat regions. They're called mares. I think that means lake or ocean or Oceanus Procellarum, right there. So you'll have an area on the moon where it's mostly flat, where there's supposedly large lava lakes. And then on the other side, you'll have an extensive amount of cratering. On that note, in stellar metamorphosis, this is, if it has a differentiated interior and an iron core, it is an old star. If it doesn't have a differentiated interior and an iron core, then it's not an old star. It's just the remains of an impact event. So that's how you tell if it was an impact event remains or if it was an old star, is if it has a differentiated interior and it has a large iron nickel core. But I know I was repeating it, but it's very important to know that. Just not all the round rocky objects are old stars. It doesn't work like that. But anyways, if you have an object like this orbiting another star, what's happening is that this one face of it is all lava lakes, all molten material, because it's tidally locked to another star. When it's orbiting it, it's only going to show one side. It's similar to how it is with the Earth right now. And on the other side, there's going to be extensive cratering, because as it orbits that large host star, that large star is pulling in all those asteroids because it has a giant gravitational field, and those asteroids are going to be slamming into just one side of that lava world. So this side's going to be all lava because it's being heated, and this side's going to have asteroids and comets slam into it because it's getting in the way of the comet or asteroid entering into the host star. It's not a remains of an impact event regarding the Earth. It's its own star, it's its own object independent of the Earth, and I think that's a good point. I also believe that the moon is in excess of 22 billion years in age, at least. Well, mainly because they took radiometric dating samples of it, and there was a 22.7 billion year old sample that they had. But that's not really spoken too much in academic communities, because if there's a piece of this that's older than 13.7 billion years, then clearly the Big Bang is nonsense, because it completely contradicts it. They force the ages of all radiometrically dated material to fit inside of a paradigm. They don't actually look at it independent anymore, because it's bad news. If you find a radiometric dating sample that's 100 billion years old, well then clearly it's wrong. That's how that works. But anyways, the moon was definitely a lava planet, if anything. Now, whether or not it was orbiting the Earth, and has orbited the Earth when the Earth was a very hot young star similar to the Sun, and just stayed put the entire time, just orbiting the Earth, and never going anywhere, well, that would explain the lava world, and that would explain why the majority of the surface has been ripped away and the silicate crust is no more, as well as any evidence for plate activity, and any evidence for life itself. It's just being torn apart by the hotter host as it was orbiting it. I don't know if it came from somewhere else in the galaxy, but one thing's for sure, even if it was orbiting the Earth for a long period of time, it also came from somewhere else very early in the Earth's history before the Earth was adopted by the sun. So what we're looking at here is a very different worldview of these objects. And when you look up at the moon at night, pay attention to it. Imagine when you look at it that where you're standing is a lot of heat going its direction. What would it look like? What would happen to it? Then you'll see all those flat areas and you'll realize that those are large lakes of lava that are being incinerated. Alright, y'all. Think I made this video long enough. I'll go ahead and link that one person to the bottom of the page. I would suggest ignoring the dark matter stuff, ignoring a lot of the other ideas in there, but also look at it as a creative endeavor, and there might be some real gems in there. And some of it also might coincide with stellar metamorphosis, which is that one phrase I just read. Alright, take it easy, y'all.